Okay, now let's continue with our lesson. We've already discussed about some few aspects of things that motivate our electronics. Then we were able to look at some of the applications and some of the type of circuits that we can use power electronic switches to come by. Now today let's look at the power electronic switches. Actually, this kind of course is not to give you the intuition of power electronic devices. It's actually to give you the application. That is why the name is given as a power electronic lab. We are actually not going deep into the theory and the intuitions behind all these switches. We are only looking at the applications. Now, so let's talk of the type of switches that we have in power electronics. So I will be demonstrating few of them, few of the examples under these. Now, the first one is what we call an uncontrolled switch. What is an uncontrolled switch? For an uncontrolled switch, the turn on and the turn off cannot be controlled. Meaning, if you want the switch to turn on something or to turn on a circuit, it can never be controlled by any kind of means. The only means by which it can be controlled is the internal structure of that kind of switch. So let's take, for example, a diode. So if I have a diode in a circuit, with a lamp of this nature, this diode over here, we cannot control either the turn on or turn off. Why am I saying this? Let's try to apply some amount of voltage here. So if I use a regulated power supply, if I'm using a silicon diode over here, we all know that the turn on will happen at a forward voltage of 0.7. Now, so when I try changing the voltage from 0 to maybe 1 volt, at the point of 0.7, when I try turning this, and at the point of 0.7 volts, I should be able to allow voltage to reach this. So whenever the voltage is less than 0.7, it tells us that the circuit will be dead. Why? Because this diode will be off at that time. But when it crosses 0.7, it will now turn on. Now, in the same way, when this circuit turns on, or when we supply a voltage of maybe 5 volts at the source, definitely this switch is going to turn on. Then we have our circuit working. And on the same note too, we cannot turn it off. There's no mechanism that you can use to turn this circuit off. But then it's not all that complete. The statement is not all that complete that when you turn it on, you cannot turn it off. Actually, when you change this anode current or the circuit current, if you change it to be less than 0.7, the circuit will go off or the switch will go off. So we cannot control the turn on and the turn off. That is why we see that this type of switch is an uncontrolled switch. Now, the second one that we have is a semi-controlled switch. So we will look at how that one too behaves in the next video. Thank you.